two, one, and we are live. And it looks like I can see everyone's audio.
Hello, everybody out there in the universe. We're so glad you're here with us. It's a Sunday on the dot lot. I know on this side of the screen, it's been a bit late, like super lazy. We're feeling this lazy Sunday vibes. Hopefully, you are in your comfies, feet propped up, ready to get some more lazy Sunday vibes. Because we're back with the little Cypher system to brighten your Sunday. So I'm Dot. Thank you so much for coming. If you haven't already, follow so you know when we go live. And I'm going to pass this rolling train right off to Marcy, who's going to drop us into some story and get us going. How are you today, Marcy?
I'm okay. So everybody, welcome back to the Owl of Lycia. First of all, let me just say thank you for joining us. I know we've been very off and on lately. I feel like it's a fall thing, and especially Sundays are full of holidays. This past one, I think we just all needed a break, but we're back and rolling. First and foremost, if you'd like to support the Dot Lot, you can support them by subscribing or giving bits and tips. Everything you give goes right back into the channel and helps pay our cast members that you see on the screen. You can also donate all year long to the Dot Lot Extra Life campaign, where Dot's raising money to support the Miracle Children's Network. Every bit and tip that you give, even if it's to Extra Life, helps to fill the curiosity bar. So when our bar at the bottom, reading the curiosity bar, reaches $50, you can expect curious and weird things to happen in the game. You can also show non-monetary support by simply following the channel. Then you'll never miss a moment of what's happening on the Dot Lot. Last time we met on the Owl of Lycia, it's been a while, so let's rewind a bit. Our players are currently in Missouri. It's the capital city of Demir. Why are they here? You might be asking, or remind us why they're here. They're here because they tracked a letter originating to what must have been this place. It was encoded with an address, not a date at the top. They learned that it was at this place that was either some kind of strange jail or a temple to Berna. So they investigated it to see who wrote the letter. The reason being is they suspect that this person is the reason that Sariara has called them all together to begin with. Their suspicions were correct on everything. The reason that they were called together, and the fact that it was a temple to Berna and some kind of strange prison. It was both of those things. Once inside, they inquired about the guests, learning that the people who were here had done rotten things in their lives, and that the creature who was bound here was bound by Berna themselves, who ended up giving Maeve a gift on the way out, a curse that would allow Maeve to put an end to the worshippers of Berna more commonly. The name of the god is unspoken. It is the memory of feeling, of strong sensations, of recursive thought. And it stayed in its prison when the group left. Upon exiting, they made a ruckus about the name the Owl of Lycia, and one of their party members at that time, a non-player character named Adric Halethorpe, was promptly arrested before breaking out of prison. But they kept one of the people they had found in the prison, this frog-like creature. It was a very small frog named Gherkin Picolio, who they put in Sedna's shell for safekeeping. From here, the party decided to get some snacks. Carmine has a favorite place in the town that they like to go to, and they got some muffins from that place. They decided to check out the racing thing, this Demiran race that turned out to be the annual Missourian Prarenbardberg races, the thing that happens once a year here. It's very important. It's highly sought after. And they were hired right on the spot as racers for a woman who owns a magical glass emporium named Zaros. With that underway, Zaros invited them to the ball that was happening the following night, offering to clothe them and set them up with other racers to hobnob around. But she did warn them. The Arglorians who were present here, who Pangoliath managed to give a gift of 2 gold rings, and they exchanged a gift in return, some sort of wooden lizard, a token about the size of a finger. They always win. And her advice was to stay out of their way. So we join our party in the places that Zaros put them up. Or, I'm starting to remember, I think her name was Xenos, and I just definitely messed that up. Anyway,
I didn't know if it was.
I'm in a state right now. It's not
no, you're doing
Lysia.
great. That was a really good capsule of 3 episodes for the record. You captured 3 episodes in one.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm in a state tonight, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. Anyway, Zaros gave them a place to stay, is offering to clothe them in great thanks for racing for them. The most important thing to her is the sponsorship and that they finish the race and look good doing it. So, you all are invited to the race. Whatever will you wear? To the ball tonight that you've been invited to.
So, Sedna doesn't ever wear this piece of clothing. It was given to her. Is handmade by one of the elders of her people, and but it's meant to be broken out for fancy occasions. They gave it to her before she left on her great journey to locate the Owl of Lysia, and she decides that maybe this is the opportune moment, and so she breaks it out and puts it on for the first time, and it fits like a glove. It is in fact a dress, which is a bit of I think a surprise, and it's a very kind of thin layer underneath that looks almost like seaweed. It's a beautiful kind of sea green color. And on top, they've draped this really wonderful kind of crocheted netting that covers the top layer and creates a small train down the back. It's relatively formal, actually. And she spruces it up with shells and things. She doesn't have hair. She just has a mohawk. But she wears shells and things around her neck to add a little sprucey. She looks the part.
Beautiful. I wonder what a Gantz wears.
I know. I'm interested.
Yeah.
So Maeve was given a piece of clothing to wear to this ball, but she went ahead and altered it to suit her better. So it kind of looks like a asymmetrical vest in which there is no undershirt. And it kind of dramatically cuts down the right side and goes all the way down, almost like a tail to the knee. And it's white. And then she's got white slacks on underneath. And it's a very stretchy material. But the best touch is starting from her eyes and going down over top of this clothing is this almost like amber marbling. And so it looks like a white vest that's been marbled with this amber, but here it's actually the sap that is seeping from her face and going down over top the clothing, adding just this nice little elegant touch that suits her better.
That is really cool.
That is really cool.
Munster, who dresses a bit dapperish normally, given his more academic background, has shucked off his normal trousers and professor's jacket and opted for a bit more formal style clothing with the button-up shirt, nice suit. But he's gone the extra mile to put on little gloves. He has some fur sheen cream that he has been keeping for a special occasion, and he's making sure his fur looks nice and with a little tuft of hair right on top of his head, like a little pompadour.
I am in love with this so much.
He brushes his whiskers 20 times just to make sure they're all neat and frizz free, and does a little once around the mirror and nods to himself, happy with the professionalism.
All
Nice.
right. Pangoliath is carried in on a palanquin litter by 4 Gants that look like boiled asparagus with their floppy heads that are chanting his entrance. He is wearing a long coronation gown, lavender in color, embroidered with an emblem known as the Pangalee, which is reserved for pangolin royalty. He's got big poofy lace sleeve cuffs, a fine lace cravat, also lavender in color. He's wearing a double peak full-bottomed wig. There's ermine fur lining all over the gown. He's wearing a metallic white doublet with trunk hose breeches like the old-timey Spanish breeches, tight white hose, and he is wearing leather red-heeled platform shoes as he's carried in.
Platform shoes.
How tall are the platforms, Grant?
They're 6-inch heels.
6-inch heels. Okay.
Platform shoes are very in style in the Italian Renaissance.
Oh my god.
And I waited all
French.
day to hit Marcy with that.
I'm
love
dying. Oh god.
This is why we show up to Sundays on the dot line.
To make me cry.
Oh.
All right. So this parade can arrive in any order you like to the ball. The ball officially starts at 7 p.m. or the 7th bell from one of the crystal towers that's close to. I'm dying still. I'm sorry. That's close to the actual ballroom itself. Whew, but Carmine, who is there for a little bit, they just kind of stare at you, Maeve, because I feel like Maeve, you would be the person that they would say this to, and then they say, "I'm going off to find crime," and walk out the door.
I just nod. Perfect.
So there they go. They're having their mystery tonight. Meanwhile, this will be the first sunset that you've actually managed to see in the city of Missouri. It is absolutely gorgeous. Sunrise was incredible. You saw cascading colors and the morning flights of birds in the Missourian Skyway that took form of the mail service and all these other things, but just the flock and murmurations of them is a stellar sight to see in the morning. The evening hits the other side of the city, where there are all these cool colors that get splashed across. The city is color-coded for the time of day. And so, of course, there's the bell toll, but you can also tell what time of day it is by the colors that you see all around. It's getting late. The ball is approaching. And it kicks off with some fireworks that you can see in the sky right above the court that it will be taking place in. Who goes together and who's the first to arrive?
Well, Sedna's never seen fireworks. So
Beautiful.
that's new. She may, in fact, at first think the city's under attack. I'm sure that her friends will rightly correct that very quickly. But Sedna would walk behind the grand entrance of Pangoliath.
Yeah, I mean, you've definitely heard of ship's cannons before, and in this campaign, they are a bit more magical than regular cannons, so they would give off that spray of light that you might have seen from the shoreline.
From the shoreline, yeah. So I do probably. Sedna probably has a huge moment of panic. She arms ready, karate chop warrior style. Who is it? What is it? And then realizing how beautiful it is, and nobody's in harm, and that it's some kind of celebration. She probably stands jaw agape in the streets as she's just watching this happen. And of course, catches up with the grand Pangoliath parade.
Yeah, I figure the Pangoliath is okay actually showing up first with these, asparagus head and just, whoa, the great Pangoliath! And it's just like, as they carry me in the little scepter that I'm using, I imagine as Carmine walks past.
I'm kind of imagining that they walk like the oysters in Alice in Wonderland.
Yes.
The curious oysters. Oh,
Yes.
the sea is boring. And kind of walk us in. And yeah. With the
Nice.
fireworks, I'd be very Count of Monte Cristo, just greetings as I come down from hot air. He flew in on a hot air balloon. So it's
Yeah, he did. So as Pangoliath is being carried on this palanquin by these these boiled asparagus cats, they're all wobbly and floppy. There's a lot of them. They're like, it just looks like grass almost from a distance.
I wonder if the boiling process is part of puberty.
It might be. It's very easy to find. Aside from the fireworks that are being jettisoned up in the air, exploding in these beautiful patterns that resemble sometimes eyes, sometimes it looks like a big feather. You find that they are directing you into what appears to be some sort of larger parade. There are lights all down the street of this main street that goes into the courtyard that you're going to. And you join among the ranks of many people who are walking on this gorgeous deep purple material. Maybe it's a carpet or maybe it's something else. But this is the path that people are taking.
Huh.
They are walking this path together to the ball.
Are there people watching, or is everybody walking together? It's more like a city-wide parade?
There are people watching. Not everybody is invited to this ball.
Okay.
So there's a lot of people here who are sketching out things, who are making mental pictures, who might be here to cheer on the local celebrities and knights and racers who are going to this ball. Then there's the occasional, Pangoliath, I'd like to give you an intrusion.
Yes, please.
All right, so go ahead and take an XP, give one to a friend.
You bum Prince Delphine of Piggy Pie.
As this small tannin child, you notice them underneath your palanquin. They are trying to use you to get into the ball.
Aww.
All right. I'd like to give the XP to Maeve. It's been a while since I've given Maeve anything.
Except for my love.
Well, after reciting all that poetry, all imprisoned. It was great. Big energy. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to I guess I don't really have anything to do this. No, I do. I have Pangolito. That's already in the fiction. So I want to affix Pangolito to the scepter and kind of diggle him down and be like, "What are you doing down there, kid?" And I want to lure the child up to come up onto the palanquin.
Okay. You feel Pangolito. They get slapped to the side. And you hear this small voice go. You hear this small voice go. I'm not here.
Then why do I see you? Pangolito says as he scoots up, invading the personal bubble as the child. Why don't you come up onto the palanquin?
Go ahead and roll me a persuasion. And it's going to be a task difficulty. It's not going to be too difficult. It's a kid, but they're scared and they just got caught. Yeah, the difficulty 3.
All right. Yeah, I forget I'm not playing a speaker today after so many weeks. And I'm not as powerful as some of my other characters. Is Pangoliath gonna die trying to persuade a child? Perhaps. Grabs Pangolito, pulls me down, beats me up, steals my outfit. The naked Pangoliath has to sneak through the ball. All right, so
Thanks for calling out my plans.
We can do an Emperor's New Clothing kind of.
Pangoliath's new clothes.
I'm going to expend some effort just to lower it to a 2, just because I'm not trusting my rolls.
Yeah, that's
success. Fair. I got a
nice.
15.
Okay, the kid grabs onto the scepter, and you pull them up. They're small. They're maybe 7 or 8 years old, and it looks like, to your eye, they have tied on themselves a pillowcase and covered it with sparkly stuff, just anything that was shiny. And they look at you and say, my mom says that I'm a princess and that I'm supposed to be royalty.
This is going to come back to haunt me as I spend the rest of my life trying to put this child on the throne.
This whole thing's actually been an origin story.
Yeah, so let's see. Marcy, I would like to expend, if possible, 3 XP for a long-term benefit of associating this child, where it's like, you might be a princess, but tonight you're disguised as the page boy, and we'll make this happen. I just kind of want to be like fairy godmother outfit, so the child can get into the party.
Yeah,
I
sure.
don't know if we'll have. I just figured it was like.
No, you can spend the XP to do that. We can frame it in the fiction. Like, Pangoliath is super extra and probably brought more clothes with him in a trunk on the palanquin.
I was trying to convince Carmine to be my page boy for a long time, and all I had was like this little outfit, and it was very offensive to us. Like, no, you can help carry me in, and here's the Pango poem to recite. Carmine was like, no, I'm not even listening to you.
Oh, what if you had like an extra like sad asparagus costume? And
Oh no.
I want this kid to be differentiated from one of the boily people. But no, it's just kind of like a pale blue, nice outfit that fits. And it's just one of those things. It's like I have it in a small trunk, a small chest, and just be like, here, put this on, and then if the heavens will it, you shall receive a formal gown. Just enjoy the party, and if anyone asks who you're with me, he said, hoping it haunts him later in the evening.
The child just looks happy, beaming, blushing in this little page boy suit, and she's just waving like this at everyone as your palanquin goes down.
I'm like, Pangolito, you are demoted. And I just like flick him into the chest. The small thing was, so Pangolito will live in the box for the rest, and we'll see how this page boy turns out. Have high hopes.
Perfect.
City on fire. Oops.
Meanwhile, the mother is searching the crowd frantically.
Yeah. She tells you her name is Samlin.
Samlin, you're the best. This is like literally my actual daughter in the game, where it's like, I know you, kid. Come on up.
Yes. Maeve, when you join this parade, you note that among the people watching, there are various Gants spread out throughout the crowd. But one in particular strikes your eye, this very, very tall tree-like Gants, who seems to be rooted into the ground. You can tell the faces there, though. You see that there are children climbing into its branches to get a better look, as well as some other people. You know about these kinds of Gants in particular. These are Gants that never uprooted, never left their casing, as it were, in spite of getting to the point that they were sentient and woken from their sleep. It seems to be a community Gantz.
Interesting. Maeve leaves the parade and goes over to the Gants. And will introduce herself in Gant's language.
Okay. It sounds like the whispering of wind between the leaves. It responds in turn, giving you its name. It never really has a formalized name here. The name it's supposed to be given is warm dewdrops amidst an autumn morning. However, the people around here just call it Barkson. Yes.
Barkson, best tree
Oh,
name.
Barkson. Okay. My good tree fellow. So, how long have you been awakened like this? Before the city?
I have been awakened here before the river.
Oh, old one.
Come, why did you leave?
The parade or the forest?
Both.
The forest curiosity and the parade for the same.
Well, nothing here more curious.
How do you feel about the parade and the city?
I like the parade. I do not like the city.
Good to know.
The city does not like itself. I like some of it. And you see the branches start swaying a little bit, and the kids on top of it, like they're riding bucking broncos or swings, just start like swaying to and fro and go, ah! This is my favorite part. The touch, the communication. I do not like most of this city, but this is good. I like the parade. Look at them knowing each other for once.
And how are the other Gants here? Do they have similar sentiments, or do they actually enjoy the city? I can't figure that part out.
Some of them do, but some of them do not. It is hard to tell.
It is.
I know of a few who do and a few who do not. If you would like, I can point you in the direction of where I last know them to be, but that was a while ago. For some, 100 years, maybe more.
Yes. And I would kind of jot down notes of the last places these Gants were.
Yeah, let's hold on. I think we're having some sound stuff. Can chat hear us? It's all made of plant.
Ta-da! Helps if you unmuted.
Hooray!
Yay!
Keep going. Keep going. This is good. We're nailing it.
We're doing so great. Whew, thanks, everybody.
So yes, once you start moving, and not rooted, things get fast. And you end up in places like cities.
I find that the city seems to move around me without needing to move that much.
Yes. It's not a bad way to be.
No, I enjoy it. But the city will take care of itself. I've noticed cities are a lot like forests. They tend to eat themselves alive.
Yes. Yes. That's what I've been feeling. I just haven't been able to put it into words.
Anyway, you should enjoy your community, young one.
Yeah. They go fast too.
They do.
Maeve will touch the tree.
You feel it touch back.
Enjoy that moment. And then head back into the parade.
All right. Munster, as you are heading down, you notice that the walkway is very big. All of these huge stomping feet coming down around you. But you also notice that there's kind of an access ramp. There is a smaller sort of thoroughway on a tiny balcony that runs underneath the lights that you see other small anima walking along.
How kind. I will take the more suitable route in.
Yep. This way takes you far above the heads of the people who are walking along the path. Maybe about 3 or 4 feet, which is tall for you. So all in all, about 9 feet off the ground in general. On this small sort of thoroughway with its own tiny lights. Each one that you notice, now that you're up here, looks like what appears to be a Lightweaver's orb. Some of them very small, some of them very big, each woven with these tough sort of webbed brambles that hang both over the walkway and against the buildings heading into this courtyard. In addition to very small ones, about Pangoliath size, or not Pangoliath, about your size. Pangoliath had a bigger one. They're about the size of marbles along the side.
Oh, and are these things hard to make, or?
Yes, very hard to make.
Wow.
You would be familiar with them because they are a Demiran product. The Lightweavers Guild itself is a Demiran guild, mostly in the desert. There are great canyons out in the desert where these Gants who are involved in the Lightweavers Guild take parts of their own biology and weave them into these orbs that when you break them open create light.
Fascinating and very, very wealthy. Take
Yes.
a moment to admire the. I mean, it's what a sight, and a sight I usually rarely get to see being up so high. So I'll stop on the walkway, take a moment to take it all in.
Yep. It's nice. You can get a good view of everybody coming in as well. You note some people in the crowd who are passing under that look like they would be important people. You also see the ever so slightest glimpse of the shadow of what appears to be the Arglorian Hefton priest walk into the courtyard from where you are.
Ooh, our competition. Oh, something I've been wondering. Is a display like Pangoliath's normal in this context, or is it very clearly out of place?
Everyone has a unique way of showcasing their eccentricities. However, Pangoliath's seems very foreign.
Okay. All right. Is everyone just walking in? Like no one's like doing anything sketchy or plotting any murders, right?
Well, roll a murderception check to perceive murders. You can roll an intelligence check to see if you can root out what Carmine would call crimes.
Crime. Do I see like a gout of fire in the distance where Carmine is anti-criming somewhere? Mixed in with the fireworks. Oh, I got a 20.
Nice. You look around to your eye and very sensitive ears and smells. Your perceptions are through the roof. There's no crime is a very broad word. You see collusion happening in such a little way that I can phrase it. As you look around, you see people who are clearly racers. It goes into like the Sherlock Holmes vision as you look at their knuckles, how worn they are. Maybe there's imprints of goggles that have been worn to protect the eyes, that kind of thing. And you see them speaking with each other, making deals, maybe speaking with other sponsors. You get the idea that this is probably the social part of the race, making deals with people to know your placement or what placement you can be expecting.
Mm.
So no crimes per se, but it is very sketch.
Very sketch. Okay. Yeah, no, it makes sense. Reminds me of academia. People just anything to get tenure and all that. It's
Yes.
not really about what you know, it's about who you know.
Yep.
But
And
no one's messing with Pangoliath's palanquin, are they? No one's like, try to tip it over.
You see Pangoliath has fished like the small child with horns out and is dressing them in this blue frock, covering up what would have been just a very perfectly good pillowcase covered with sparkly things.
Okay. Keeping all that in mind, if nothing looks too out of the ordinary, I guess I should meet everyone else inside after the parade.
Yep. And you head in as well. Sedna,
Yes.
on your way in, let me ask this question first. Is Sedna wearing shoes?
Yeah, yes, I would say this is a formal event. She knows she can't always let her feet out. So she would have worn some kind of shoe to this.
Follow-up question, is Gherkin still with you?
I was about to say, I don't know that she would have brought the shell to this event, because again, it's kind of this like whole thing. She might have left it behind, but if Gherkin wanted to come,
Gherkin can likely hide in one of the many shells you have attached to your dress.
Oh, that's true. Yes, perfect. Yeah, so Gherkin can come. He's hiding out on my person.
Okay, so as you're walking along this pavilion, there is a young woman who ends up walking next to you. She has olive skin and brown freckles they're very asymmetrical across her face and very curly hair. She seems to be somewhat plainly dressed. It seems to be some sort of simple velvet gown, but without any real definition about the hips. It just sort of hangs. And she carries with her a pad, a writing pad, and is taking notes as she walks. Eventually spotting you and saying, if I can ask you a question. Do you mind?
Yes. I'm sure Sedna too is like so into this parade. Like if people are waving, she's waving. She's trying to say hi to everybody. But yeah, she's like, oh, of course. Yes. Should we stop?
If it's easier for you. Hi. I was wondering if you're one of the racers here tonight.
I am.
Oh, wonderful. Who are you racing for?
Oh, what was her name? We said it earlier.
Zaros.
Zaros. I'm racing as a team for Zaros.
Oh, okay. Thank you. I think that's the person who owns the glass shop, if I remember correctly. Okay. Thank
Beautiful
you.
glass. Nice glass. Quality glass.
Yeah, it's very good. And you are. What are your feelings about the race in general, if you had to say?
Well, this is my first race ever.
Oh.
So I've, figuring that out. I feel excited.
Got it.
She kind of blinks and she says, I have a question. Do I get to ask questions?
Yeah, if you'd like, you can ask questions. That's fine.
Why are you asking questions?
Oh, well, I'm taking notes on everybody. I'm one of the reporters for the race, just seeing who's here, their general feelings, and going to do a report. It's not for popularity or anything. It's just a census sort of thing. More like,
is Sydney getting a weird vibe from her?
Roll an intellect check.
Okay.
It's going to be a difficulty 3.
Okay. All right, I can do that. Let's see. An intellect. That's defense task now. Okay. I'm going to use a little effort here. For sure. Oops. Wait, I did that wrong. Let's try it again. You said difficulty 3, effort 1. Hey, success.
Nice. This person is talking to you, but her eyes keep drifting off to other people. And once you catch it, you notice that she's looking at their wrists, their fingers, their necks.
So you don't work for the news, and you are an independent contractor?
Yes, it's a census thing. Census party.
Dare I ask who needs such census information for a party? Shouldn't you be joining us at the party?
I will be.
To collect census?
Yes. It was lovely to meet.
But not to party.
I don't really party.
Well, you know what? Me neither. Would you like to come with me?
Yes, I'd love to. Valoria is my name. Valoria Alrose.
Valoria. I'm Sedna.
Is that one name or 2 names?
Oh no, it's just Sedna. I am Sedna. Okay. I'm Sedna. Shall we? And I put my arm out for her to loop into it. I'm super interested in why she's looking at people's hands and feet.
Yeah, you take her arm, and her hand brushes the very strong muscles you have as a warrior, and you just see her blush.
I'm sure there's something said quirky from a frog in my dress, and I continue walking. I look at her, I'm like. I point, trying not to let her see it, of course, but.
Perfect. All right. So you all enter the ball. There is a lot of talking right now. Some people are dancing to what sounds like some sort of string music. When you look over, there's this incredible long harp that several people are playing together, in addition to a few instrumentalists who look like they're playing violas or violins, some stringed instruments of that nature, in addition to a strange organ that nobody has touched yet. There are a couple of people dancing, but most of the time, as you're looking around, it appears that people are simply talking. The entire place as you enter is just a courtyard at first. And as you come in through the south entrance, you see that it evolves into an atrium behind a stained glass wall. the atrium hits you. This sort of very, very humid. It is absolutely normal for you, Sedna. You're like, oh, finally I can breathe as you walk into this room. It's hot and humid in here, like a rainforest. It creates perhaps its own ecosystem, and the ground is a culmination of rich soils and these stepping stones made of glass that go into a very large ballroom. And in it, swirling around, speaking with each other, long trails of dresses, these huge poofy shoulder pads, sequined beautiful arrangements of jewelry, crowns that reach up high and then fall in trickling veils of floating material, are the guests. And a banquet has been opened. It's mostly finger foods. In addition, there are servants who walk around with trays of food, pastries, and wrapped meats.
Ooh.
The band plays on. You are left to your own devices. God help me.
Right. God help us all. Do I see everybody else, like Maeve and Munster? I know I can always tell where Pangolife is.
Meanwhile,
above everyone.
The asparagus are singing "I vow to thee, my country." You know, it's just like.
But do I see the other two at the party?
Maeve probably enters close to last.
Okay.
If they hung back and talked for a bit to the tree.
Yeah.
So you probably get there before her.
Munster's probably looking for you guys as well and going to be making his way over when he spots you all.
It would probably be Munster who would have to spot everyone else because of the grandness of the ballroom. I will say there are small thoroughways that are woven into the sides of the walls for small creatures like yourself. To bring in yet another cartoon tonight, the ballroom in The Rescuers Down Under.
Yes.
In the beginning, it's kind of like that.
It's been forever since I've seen that. I need to
soup
that.
I love it. So good. Okay. Well, I would look for Munster, anybody in kind of the group or party. So first off, I met a friend, or I have a friend. I got a friend. And I like point Senna does to her friend and introduce, this is my other friend, Munster.
Hello. Have you? Oh, never mind. I see Pangolife over there.
She is synthesizing. She's making census.
Making census.
Yes, making census. You wouldn't happen to be Professor Munster, would you?
I was not expecting that. Okay.
Oh, sorry. Here, have an intrusion. So
Yeah,
take an XP and give one to a friend. Right.
I'll get Senna as the person who so delightfully delivers this intrusion to me. You can have the other XP. Munster will put on his best parent-teacher conference face and politely smile and says, "Yes, indeed, I am Professor Munster."
Okay. I never took your class, but I was interested in your research. This was before, I don't know, I didn't really go to any sort of formal education for this, but I was interested.
And that's good.
What are you here because did you do a new research project? What are you doing here? I'm so interested.
No, not quite. I'm actually you could say sabbatical currently. I'm actually hunting down an old student of mine for some research that needs some clarification on, unfortunately. So currently, I'm not currently teaching, but I am very happy to hear that you were pursuing such education.
Yes, well, I was attempting to. I have your book at least.
Oh.
You wrote a book? That's news to Sedna. She looks right at you. Wrote a book.
It's news to Munster too, probably.
Yeah, I was like, wait, what? Do you mean you have it on you?
No, I own a copy of it.
I see. Could you refresh my mind what the material was about?
Of course, it was about harnessing magical energy from across multiple series of existences.
Does that sound like...
That sounds like research that you were working on, but does not sound like anything you've written.
That's interesting.
Curiously enough.
That is very curious.
I didn't understand any of that. That's impressive, Monster.
Right. It is very impressive. Having a newfound interest in this wonderful stranger, Munster will continue and ask, would it be at all possible if I could see that copy sometime after tonight's events?
Oh, maybe if you're not busy tomorrow, and tomorrow's the race. Or I think I'm leaving town the day after, so I won't be able to.
I do have a commitment to my traveling companions to help them during the race, but afterwards I would love to come, and perhaps I know a lovely cafe a friend introduced me to. They have great sandwiches.
Okay, that sounds good. Munster, roll if you'd like to try to figure out what's going on here.
I would love to figure out what's going on here.
Intellect check, and it's going to be a task difficulty. It's going to be a 5 for this one. It's going to take some straining for
connecting the dots.
Yep.
All right, so it's this difficulty 5. I will put an effort to this. I'm also going to. Can I use the asset for the clothing description? Or do we get assets for that?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Okay. And would knowledge politics work here?
Yes, actually.
Okay. Oh, okay. I'll just make it a knowledge politics roll. Ah, man, I don't know how to roll 20.
It's okay.
Asset 1, effort 1. Okay, so I rolled an 11.
Nice.
It was 5.
Yep, that should beat it.
Okay.
So you're struggling to think about what it could be about because you remember having a vague interest in that, looking into it for the college you worked for, and then you realize, oh, the college must have taken the research that they had assigned to me and wrote a book penned under my name. So it's probably not one of your. It's probably your name and a bunch of other people's names.
Okay.
Associated with it.
So it's more of like an omnibus of different research works with attributed different people. Okay.
Yes.
So it's not a case where Munster has apparently some sort of notoriety that using his name would. Okay.
No. This is a very normal thing. But the fact that your brain went there is like the guilt just starts coming back to you.
Yeah,
again.
So much guilt. It would be nice to go revisit some of his old research, though. So I think he'll still keep the appointment if he can.
Sure. Absolutely.
Well, it was very lovely meeting you. Senna, I will let you get back to your... is this a dancing kind of ball or just like a meeting?
There are people dancing, but they haven't started yet officially. There are a couple people doing like an awkward foxtrot in the corner, but the awkward trot. But until the actual royalty has their first dance, in general, they don't start dancing here yet.
I think I'm going to go see if I can track down Pangoliath or Maeve. But yes, I will leave you to your company. It seems like you have...
we're going to go census. I kind of make like really weird eyes at Munster, like this chick is like, something's weird. Haven't figured it out yet, but something's weird. And Sedna's basically babysitting her in fear of her doing things like stealing from people or causing problems at the party. Sedna's convinced herself she's needs to watch her. We're gonna go party.
Okay.
And I like wave.
I'll be along the any gestures to the very nice accessible smaller sized accessibility tools.
I love that. Yeah, Sedna just realizes it like when you point it out. She goes, "Oh," and like notes it. And she kind of like nods and smiles. And escorts her friend to wherever they're headed next.
She smiles. You have interesting friends. I didn't know that you would be friends with Professor Munster of all people. He's very famous around here.
Really, I find it terribly interesting that he's famous. You know, we've been traveling together for a while now, and I had no idea.
Huh. I just learned the craziest things about people, I guess.
Craziest things. Where, you mentioned wanting to take his classes. Where was he teaching, in fact?
Oh, gosh. I think it was just the university here in the capital city.
Wow.
Just for a little bit.
And
it was a couple years ago. It wasn't long.
Why didn't you if you wanted to so badly?
I didn't want to indebt myself to the city. So I got my hands on a couple of books instead.
And you're self-taught?
Yes.
So you study magic?
The
exchange of power? Or?
Yes, we'll call it that for now, because that's the legal thing to call it in Demir.
Right, yeah, and I said, it's like, I'm sorry, I'm not from here, so please, if anything I say makes you uncomfortable, it's not meant to, I'm just, like clears her throat being awkward and not charismatic at all.
I understand. It's just that a lot of magic is not legal here. Up to and including, if you go to the university, you can learn it just fine, but that often comes with indebting yourself to the university. So I didn't feel like doing that. It seemed like a bad course of action for me.
So you're self-taught, but you wouldn't have done it here then?
No. Well, I did. I just don't talk about it. I could show you what I can do maybe later when we're away from all these people.
Sure.
If you'd like to
yes.
Go for some sort of coffee afterward.
Oh, I've had coffee. There's a one coffee place that I know. My friend showed it to me.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, sure. Okay, we can coffee.
Yeah, I'll show you another coffee after we census some more.
Yeah, and Sidney goes, okay, who's next? Who haven't you censused?
And her eyes fall on the shimmering, sort of fluctuating figure of the Hafton priest. And then she snaps her head over to another person who looks like maybe a well-dressed dignitary, and goes, I haven't spoken to them yet. They look like they are, I don't want to guess. Maybe Viatvian?
Sure.
And she'll take you over. Or rather, she'll start walking there and imagine you're just like, don't steal.
Yeah, don't. Okay. Yeah, and I'm like right behind her, like, okay. I'm making sure like nobody's being like, she's not like setting anybody off and nobody's like noticing, no guards. Like it's just good. Like I want her to keep a low profile, even though I may not be keeping a low profile to assure she does.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Meanwhile, Pangoliath, your entrance into this place has taken a bit more time. They've made some assumptions about you from the way that you're presented and also being carried by a bunch of boiled asparagus people. Bunch is the appropriate term. And they actually put you in a line to announce you to the ball with your page boy.
Wonderful.
Who is trying to like balance on the edge of the palanquin as best that they can on like the edge of their toes.
Yeah. I'd like to ask the young page, child. What is it that you do?
What do I do? I
Great.
am a scientist
Have you been
and a
published?
doctor and a princess.
This really is my kid. All right, I want to be 3 things.
One day I'm
Princess
gonna walk the celestial.
Will you do a science for me?
Okay.
I look intently.
Oh, you want me to do one now? All right.
Yes,
And
do a
she
science.
reaches into her pockets, which are like she has to lift up the frog and then go underneath the pillowcase that she put it on top of, and then she reaches into her pocket and pulls out
Baking
what
powder and vinegar. Sorry.
No, it appears to be a box, and inside this box is a. You look at it; it appears to be some sort of strange black powder.
What? Lean in intently. What? I'm not snorting it. No matter how hard and tempted. Oh, what is it?
Oh, this, and she reaches in and takes out a pinch and then snaps her fingers with it. And when she does so, there's this bit of fire flames up in her hand.
You're a genius. Very good, very good.
I made it. Do you like it?
Yes. Could you scale the production to mass quantities?
I don't know what that means.
Neither do I.
Okay, but I made it. This is what I can make.
Of what lineage do you descend? For you are a princess.
Oh, well, my mom says my dad is a devil.
I believe it. Trucked with devils in my day, and your father was. What is your mother?
Oh, she's Theron.
Do you come from a devilish royal line or a Theron royal line?
Well, my mom says I'm a princess, so yes.
I believe it, and one should always believe their mothers. But do you have any domain you preside over, or is it more of a hereditary title?
Oh, I don't know. Sometimes I kick the kids out of this one abandoned building in town, and then it's mine.
I don't know how I feel about that. But as a princess, you have you been formally educated yet?
No.
I'm gonna hire you a tutor, the very best, Professor Munster.
Okay.
And on the side, the grandest Maeve. She knows everything.
Awesome. She starts coughing a bit and then goes to pull out the box and then opens her mouth and more of this black powder just pours out of her mouth into the box. And then closes it back up and then puts back into her pocket.
I just want to add time out. This character's like Sharong's dream, where it's like, and they vomit gunpowder. It's like, yes. This is one of Grandma's children.
It actually kind of is.
I think so. All right. Brilliant. All right.
Emma has many, many grandchildren.
Yes. So I'll just pass the time till they're going to announce our entrance.
Yep, they do. They do. They start announcing people. Oh God, I had the name for the person who does announcing in my head. It starts
The Herald?
Herald, thank you. The herald, a small barren person, comes up to you and goes, "Your name, please."
That's a bit of a personal question.
Should like to announce you, or you can just walk in.
You should announce me as Pangoliath. Weatherman.
Weatherman.
Yes.
Of course.
And I hope there's very long titles, and this is Pangoliath.
Yeah.
Weatherman.
Yep. They walk forward. There's a couple people before you, each with 5 and 6 names as they're announced. And then your boiled asparagus people walk you in. And this person goes, "And now, Pangoliath Weatherman." And they bring you in. The crowd oohs and ahs as these boiled asparagus have a devil of a time getting you down the stairs.
Easy. So I like turn and slide. My tail flops over, almost falling off. My monkey tail pushes me back up. It's a real show, real Laurel and Hardy walking a ladder stuff.
And you enter in as well.
All right. We may need to move the camera just because my eyes have stopped working. Like they're swelling shut, and I don't know why.
Oh no.
Yeah.
It's probably all the laughter and black powder vomit.
Right.
All right. I don't know. All right. So yes, I make it down the stairs.
Oh no.
Jeez. This is almost as bad as when I got hot sauce in my eyes on Eric Harrison's channel. And they're like,
"Oh no."
Grant, and like, yeah, I said something, and I was like, "I've got ghost pepper in my eyes," and they got all red and swollen. And
Oh
no. All right. With that, it's not long after that the royalty is announced. You see that the Demiran royal family arrives, and that they've actually been here for a little while in the northern balcony of this large circular. It's arguably diamond shaped because there's a pillar with a balcony in each corner of the cardinal directions. There's this small child who is announced as the Archbishop Hammer, the Empress of Demir entirely. Baby, an absolute baby. She can't be older than 16, and she's surrounded by her family. Normally, this would be a part in which the Archbishop Hammer and their partner takes a spot on the dance floor. However, it seems to be taken over by Aurelia Fior and the son of the Viadvian royal family who's here, a man named Barrett Heiln, who is maybe a little old for her. He's like 19 or 20. Oh no, poor Grant.
I've got to keep my eyes covered. So
no.
Oh no.
It's not your allergies.
It's all right. I'll be fine. I'll be listening better.
They are announced and they take the floor. There's a hush that falls over the crowd as the music stops playing. It slows down to a halt, and you hear vague whispering, people hinting or speculating that, like, oh, maybe there's a marriage proposal happening soon or something, as these two begin to dance when the music starts playing. And they dance for about 3 or 4 minutes. It's a very simple dance. He's actually very fumbling in his steps, and she looks like she's been doing this very professionally for the last 6 or 7 years. You could actually see the ire in her eyes every time he takes a misstep.
This is the inciting incident of Final Fantasy VIII. I'm here for it.
Right. And after, when they finish dancing, that will be the cue for everyone to mingle. it would probably be both Pangoliath and Munster. Actually, Maeve would notice this too. You can easily point out who the bodyguards are for the royal families. They are walking around like wolves. In fact, the Viadfian bodyguard for this son of the they do have a president there, so it would be his son, is a wolf-headed anima who's prowling and rowling around, just following.
There's like a thunderclap or like firework that goes off a little bit too close to the building, and then when Munster turns around, Maeve is right there. And it's like, that was an appalling display of the dance.
I will never understand how you can move that fast.
What do you mean? I've been here for a while.
Huh.
This is just what happens when you're a witch of the wood.
Well, do you think you can do better?
For dancing? Yes, I'm a Gantz.
It rhymes.
Other than rhyming, I fail out to see that's related. But yeah, if you want to certainly show your stuff, this is, from what I saw, a very much a social wheel and deal sort of event. So impressing others can definitely earn us a few favors on the course tomorrow.
So looking good, finishing, and earning favors.
I mean, well, even though everyone seems to think that the Angorians have this in the bag, who knows? Maybe we can win.
Okay. Maeve leaves and goes around and finds whatever Gantz might be there who look like they can actually perform musically.
Sure.
And sets up a competing band.
A competing band?
A competing
It's about
band.
to become Battle of the Bands, gang. This just turned into Scott Pilgrim.
It's gonna be like classic music on this side and then punk rock over here.
Yep. And here's where the shenanigans are. We found them, everybody.
Yep.
So you circle around, eventually finding, oh gosh, it's going to be woodwinds versus strings, huh?
Yes.
You find a pair of Gants who their growth has been catered. It has been trained. So they are these beautiful displays of artistry within their trunks and branches. One of them is braided, and the other one is this beautiful bonsai-like structure. They are named Fihugia and Wensquiz.
Oh,
I love it.
And you're going to need to roll me an intellect task for this, because this is a risky sort of operation to do. They need to be persuaded into it because it's not treason, though they are trees.
I see what you did there.
Haha. It's a social faux pas to do this unless they do it in certain ways, and they need the prompting to socially. So this is going to be a rather difficult 6 task. You're convincing 2 of them and asking them to put their bark on the line here.
All right, I shall use effort. We're 2 now, right? Okay. I rolled nothing, apparently.
Oof.
I will use
So,
XP.
Go ahead.
You said it was a difficulty 6.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I can't convince them.
No, they can't be convinced. They are.
Can I also give an XP?
You can.
I will give you one more try piece. I love this image.
Okay.
It's a difficult image, and I know the framework of why it might keep failing too. Oof, nice. So part of it is that they're trained. They have lived their entire life in high society. And at first when you approach them and you're trying to get them to do this, they kind of look at each other and then look at you. It's like, what is this backwoods witch dance want this for? And then you start providing a very compelling point. This music is boring. This isn't the best that they could do. This is the Advian stuff. They could do so much better. And they start performing. On the opposite side of the ballroom, their own song. There's a discordant cacophony that happens in certain parts of the room because it is built to carry sound. So if you're closer to them and kind of in the center, you don't get it as much, but around the corners, it's like, what is going on here?
Excellent. Perfect.
So that starts happening, and it starts getting people talking.
Even better. All right. I will go back to Munster. Be like, there we go. Proper music. Now, would you like to dance? Or should I find Pangoliath?
You know what? I do need to let loose. Crick crack, snap all the bone muscles in the tail. And we're gonna see how well a tree person and a small mouse can dance together.
Excellent.
Love it.
Okay.
All right. So Maeve will usher Munster over to the proper side of the dance floor.
All right. Go ahead and you can frame this however you like. What do your dances look like? What are you trying to accomplish with them?
A quick question.
Yes.
I've been trained by the college. Am I allowed to use magic?
It depends on what kind of magic you're using, and you know this. So you can use magic, especially if you've been trained by the college and you are a professor here. But it really depends. We've had instances in playing this game where people are like openly talking with the dead in the streets. That's not something they like to see here, for example. But doing things like magical tricks, harmless fire tricks, like the Tannen was doing earlier, kind of looked down upon. It really depends on what you're using it for.
I would like to set up some kind of like, if I could take the charm glass armor and shatter it, because I don't, so I can make a brilliant display of like reflective glass shards floating in the air beautifully around Maeve as she is dancing, while I hold it all up with my hedge magic. So I use shatter to break it in a way where it becomes a beautiful like display of prisms, and then I use hedge magic to make it like float up in the air around Maeve as she's doing her tree thing.
Nice. You can absolutely do that. Just spend the necessary points. I don't think you need to roll anything for shatter.
Yep, and I got 2 edge currently in intellect, so yeah, that's
nice.
Actually.
You flip it out, crack open this armor, and cause it to whirlwind gently around Maeve as they dance.
Yeah, Mustard's
as she
doing a
dances.
little boogie.
Do the
Maeve,
monster mash.
Oh my goodness. Maeve, what does your dance look like?
So Maeve, when she dances, it starts off, it's a very interpretive style of dancing. And they'll start off very still. And she looks very young at this point. And then she'll start moving slowly, almost like the wind blowing through. And then she'll shift, and it'll keep kind of going like that until like stronger motions happen, stronger winds. So she'll go through like senses of seasons and weathers. And while all this is going on, there's also movements and motions that aren't physically possible for humans. So there's a slight bit of disturbance in the motion, almost like a if anyone's watched like a Billie Eilish music video,
Mhm.
that kind of like twitching sensation happens throughout it. And as it goes and progresses, she like starts to look older and older. And the movement becomes not as fluid and a lot more sharp until she is at her oldest state. And the movement is super sharp and then stills with the end of the song.
This got super art house real fast. Question, because I would like to offer you an XP for an intrusion.
I will accept it.
Oh, good. I was about to suggest that this happens before the dance between the royalty even ends for that XP.
I am.
So you're showing them up.
Yes. So I find Munster, tell him this is a deplorable display. It can be better. And then start this in the middle of theirs.
Munster
Right.
wants to be supportive, so yeah, he helps with the glass display. He also like makes it so like the glass moves, like representing the wind every time she like when she starts to get more jerky motions, it like cracks and ripples with her movements. And
Nice.
in the end, he creates like a small like semi canopy to like block out more of the light to make the ending scene a bit more like darkened and decrepit.
Nice. So for that, and that's why I'm going to impose a roll to begin with. So take your XP, give one to a friend.
Munster, thank you for helping.
There's audible gasping when this happens, not only because of the cacophony and the music that you've convinced these other Gents to start playing to interrupt the royals dancing.
About to die.
I need you to roll me some sort of check. It's going to be kind of like a showmanship check.
Oh, we should have brought Pangoliath.
Well, Pangoliath is here. And I will say, once that Gans music starts happening, the boiled asparagus people love it. They're like, yes, this is music. This is real music, Pangoliath.
Music! Thank you, Pangoliath! I didn't do anything!
All hail Pangoliath, the Scale King.
Oh no.
Wait, if that sending goes, oh, hail Pan Goliath from like the other side of the room.
Oh, why are we adding more oil to the fire?
Yeah.
Oh.
This check is going to be a difficulty. It's going to be a difficulty 6 check.
Okay.
And this is just maneuvering a social political faux pas.
Who's
With
making
Grace.
the main role on this?
It's going to be Maeve, but
Is there a
Maeve
way I can
can.
assist.
You are assisting with your magic.
Gotcha.
Alrighty. So difficulty 6. I will use effort. And then I don't know how to add in that assistance, but
I count as an asset, right?
Mhm. Yep, assistance is an asset, so treat it as 1 step lower.
Gotcha. God, my other idea was to start dancing with the girl and just like shove the guy aside. If I really hide, that
Should.
happens.
That would have been also very great. You can still do that.
All right.
Can still do that. Nice. So you begin your dance, this very artistic expression of against timelines in quick time, and very heartfelt and emotive. You hear audible gasping around you, aside from these chiming pieces of glass that are hitting each other in Munster's magic. And beyond that, there's this time standing still. Pangoliath and Sedna, both of you see people start craning their necks over and getting very quiet. There's a heavy awkwardness in the room. And in a moment or two, the royals stop dancing and they're staring over. Their bodyguards start walking toward the clearing, getting closer to you, but still not past their own audience, because they're very confused as to what's going on. And things like this happening at a ball, quiet might not be good, especially if it's interrupting people. There's a silence. You hear the drawing of metal.
Oh,
And then...
like swords?
Yes.
Oh.
Just like that.
Pardon my intrusion.
Yes?
Can Pangoliath take the dance floor now?
Yeah.
Of course. Let me... which dance floor do you want to take?
Oh, he just wants to be carried on the palanquin right into the middle. So there's drawing of swords, there's audiences. It's time to like escalate that awkwardness to a whole new level. Perhaps this is where I die, but I'm here for it.
All right. This is going to be even more awkward. This is going to be a task difficulty. I will let you choose which one you want to do of the 3 pools, because it could be any of them. You need might. to escalate this awkwardness. It's going to be a difficulty 7, though.
Yeah, this is...
because we are escalating from 6.
Yeah, there's going to be a couple of things that I have going for me.
Yes.
The first thing is my ridiculous muscles of iron, because it's going to come into hand. It's going to come in handy. I'd like to use my flex lore. I was going through old records, and this is a very old local melody that we're going to unchain and release. And my asparagus people have been practicing it all darn day, and they're willing to go out on their shields. So that'll lower it to a 5.
Okay.
And I'll expend some effort. 2 levels. I'm still alive. I'm not that weak.
Yeah, you're fine. Everything is
so
fine.
that's 2, 3, 4. So I think it's a 3 now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you shake and shake, Pangoliath. Jeez.
I will give you an asset because the situation is already awkward.
Okay. So we'll use my asset, and we can actually work my costume into it. Because
yes, you can.
That's part of what's going on with this. This is gonna be great. All right. So difficulty 3, I got a 9. So it was actually
excellent
2. So, is it all right if I describe sort of the
please.
action? So
Go
the
for
asparagus,
it.
there's drawing of swords, there's awkward science, there's tinkling of glass, and then the palanquins kind of march to the middle, and the asparagus strip off the costume, and I'm wearing like a 2-piece sequin bodysuit that's really, really tight, and all lights in the room kind of glisten, and I look like a living pangolin disco ball in the middle of the room, and then Pangoliath starts like looking down the royal side, and he starts like singing, "Girl, close your eyes, let that rhythm get into you," and he goes full Michael Jackson. "Don't try to fight it. There ain't nothing that you can do." And like he's gonna do all of rock with you, and like he's really putting everything into his developing hip action, and which is something I heard a dance.
His developing hip action.
Developing hip action.
And, and like it's. If this was a dinner, this is where Pangoliath just tore a tapestry off the wall and like stuffed it into a pouch. So, yes.
Perfect. So you're doing that. Your page boy, Samlin, has jumped off of the palanquin and is like doing bodyguard stuff for you. Just bouncer stuff and like going around giving you a clearing.
Sedna would like to, when she sees this go down, she just wants to start adding bodies to the floor to help people get back to like dancing.
You see Zaros here, and Zaros just seeing all of this happen and is slowly slinking back into the corner of the room like this.
It's going to be memorable.
It's going to be very memorable. There's more silence for a long time at first, and then the crowd starts erupting into dance. More bodies start hitting the floor. Maeve, from behind you, you note a figure. And then, like, on toe, right behind her is this very exasperated looking, very tall, like probably 6'3" male presenting Theron. And in front of him is the 16-year-old Empress, who stumbles in behind you and like doesn't say anything with her voice. It's just like in her eyes, you're like, you see, thank you. And then she starts dancing with you.
Yes, I win.
To not get trampled, Monster Web climbed onto Maeve's shoulder, but seeing that she's currently occupied with a new partner, he's going to far step onto one of the elevated platforms.
Yep. You, Sedna, you note that the Viapian president's son looks very unhappy, kind of sheltering off to the corner of the
Unhappy at
dance
one
floor.
particular thing or the situation at large?
Oh, he just lost his dance partner / maybe marriage proposal to a Gantz who interrupted his own dance. So
Great.
his arms are folded and his bodyguard is pacing around in front of him, growling.
I'm Sedna saunters over.
Do you bring Valoria with you?
What has Valoria been up to? Has she been like asking people questions, the same question she asked me?
Yeah, mostly.
And she's not mostly, and she's not taking anything off anybody. She's not doing anything suspicious.
Not that you've noticed. She is eyeing people up, but she's not taking anything.
Great. I don't understand her. She's very weird.
Are we the baddies?
I don't know anymore. I don't know. So I send
We've got skulls on our caps.
Yeah, Sedna has no idea how to all this socialite business is so far out of her league, but she doesn't want anybody to be unhappy, and she also sees that her friends are causing some problems. So she I says, you know what? I bet you have not sensitized the, and I point over to you said he's a prince.
The president's son.
The president's son.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, the president's son. She was, you haven't questioned him. Come on. And I kind of bring her with me as I walk up.
This is one of the first times that she's been reluctant, other than the Hafton priest. Like, you see her face. It's just like, it suddenly pales a bit, and she's just like, oh, but we could probably talk to other people.
But nobody needs a good conversation as much as he does.
So you take her over to this person, Barrett Halne.
Barrett, is that the name?
Yep, Barrett.
Okay. I would know that.
It was announced.
Okay, perfect. It would have been announced when they walked in. Oh gosh, so Sedna saunters up, and she says, "Excuse me, Barrett. Does he have a surname or something I should be using?"
The bodyguard. No, because he's not technically.
I didn't think so.
I call them royalties. He's high class society, but doesn't actually have a title other than a president's son. There is a moment that you manage to get out that last syllable just before the snarling wolf-faced anima jumps into your face, and he snaps his finger at it, and it's all right. And his gaze turns to you. He's got these steely, cold eyes.
Hi. My friend.
He also looks very sweaty.
Why is he sweaty?
Probably because he spent the last 2 minutes fucking up a dance.
Oh, that's right. He's the one that botched it. You're right. You're right.
He is.
I see that you two gentlemen are without dance partners. Would you two like to dance?
Barrett flexes his shoulders a bit and tightens his grip here and looks at you and says, I had one. I seem to have lost it.
Well, I hope that's not the only person you're hoping to dance with this evening. There are many eligible folk here.
Yeah.
Like my friend. I gotta push her forward. Or me. Or not.
What is your business here?
I came to ask you to dance.
No, I mean in general. Why are you here? You are not a,
I am representing in the race.
are you?
I think so. It's all very new to me, in fact.
Do you know if they are representing in the race?
And I'm guessing they point at Maeve?
Yes.
I have a feeling that they are.
He nods, taps his bodyguard on the shoulder. Go then yet. Sign me up for this race tomorrow.
You seem to have a distaste for the Gants. Meaning that one in particular, Maeve.
I will make sure to give you an extra good race tomorrow.
That's wonderful. Healthy competition is, well, healthy.
It is.
But since the competition is tomorrow and tonight is about celebrating the oncoming competition, would you like to celebrate?
Roll me an intellect task to persuade. It's going to be a difficulty 4.
Okay. All right. I don't have anything for this. This is going to be mostly luck. I am going to use an edge or an effort. I'm sorry. Oh, here we go. Okay, I'm going to re-roll that. Okay, use an XP. I want to pass it this and not. Oops. Maybe. I feel bad that they're not having a good time and our friends botched their little date. Success.
Yeah, sure, why not? I'm already having a bad time. I might as well have a good time.
Precisely my thoughts. I put my hand up.
Now slide to the left.
He takes it. And you feel this cold iciness from this person.
Like actually physically cold or just the demeanor?
Like physically cold.
Oh. You are chilly.
Yes. I've been told this.
I look at his friend, his fur face friend. Would he like to maybe with her? Or would you like to?
No, he does not do dancing.
Right. Well.
And the person, the bodyguard, Colvignette, prowls around you as the two of you dance. He speaks very little, but when he does, it is this coldness that you feel in your bones. Like this is you are in touch with the divine blessings.
Mm-hmm.
This is not the absence of that, but it's everything that you are unfamiliar with in the coldness of people.
Interesting. Oh, that's really interesting. Does he seem like ailed by something, or is this just his state?
You can't tell from this one encounter.
Okay. Well, I'll talk his ear off. And I was gonna say, nope, those things don't apply. So yeah, Sedna dances her little heart out and tries really hard to make sure he has a good time.
Your dancing actually does make him feel better.
Good.
Or at least outwardly. Like the coldness never leaves, but he does ease up a bit. The rigidity in his shoulders leaves after a time. And the party dances. You have, going forward into next week, a couple of things going for you and a couple of things going against you.
Right.
So for the race that's happening tomorrow, you will learn that Barrett Helm is competing. Very last minute.
Oops.
Very coldly. However, you all have seemed to somehow earn the favor and bets of one Aurelia Fior, the Arcby Hammer of Demir.
That's good, right? That's good.
Yeah,
Is our sponsor happy with us?
She wasn't at first, and now she's very happy.
Oh,
Hey.
good.
Yep, your sponsor is very happy.
All it cost was a life grudge and one magic suit of armor.
Yep, yep. Life grudge from the royal family of Yad.
We're very day-to-day people.
I know, right? But yeah, but I think that might be it for tonight. Everyone dances their hearts out, unless you want anything else to happen here.
Feel like
Anything
being
else
the
you
top
wanna-
of the ball is where we should end.
Absolutely. Everybody leaves this place knowing Pangoliath and Maeve's name.
Dutch.
Oh, Cinda would. I don't know if it means anything, but we can always follow up on this. She would like to keep track on her new friend, not her dancing partner.
Yeah,
but
the other one.
because Sedna is convinced she's up to something.
Yeah, you keep an eye on her, and honestly, in spite of the coldness and calculation of this person, Barrett seems very consumed with other things. He's very easy to lead around to other places so that you can just keep an eye on Valoria. She is just watching people, taking notes on them. At some point, she stops asking questions, and you start wondering, why did this person take me aside to begin with?
Right.
Maybe it was just to appear to be talking to somebody so it wouldn't look out of place when she was eyeing people up and seeing what they had. But she just seems to be taking notes on every single person here.
Okay. I will continue to keep note, and I might at the end of the night follow up and see if she still wants to get that cup of coffee pre or post race. I don't know.
Sure. If you keep a good enough eye on her, and this will be up to you. She offered to go out for coffee, and you're not sure if that was a platitude or not, because she seems by the end of the night trying to skirt you.
Yeah, she's like trying to avoid me.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't love me. Okay. yeah. Cinda makes so. I have a feeling that I will see her tomorrow at the Braids.
Yep.
I have a very good gut feeling she'll be there. So Cinda notes this and lets it be what it is, because nobody wants a stalker. And
it's also going to be an early morning tomorrow.
Yeah. I should get some rest, but I will look for her tomorrow then at the race.
Yep, because you are due at the racetrack at dawn, essentially.
Oh my!
Race starts at noon.
Gotta get some cute little mouse goggles and a little pilot hat cap.
Yes.
There's many famous media mice I could just steal things from Munster.
Pangoliath's going full Rocketeer helmet. You've never seen him that intense.
So intense. Love it. So much.
Pangoliath, we're still on the ground. Why are you making those sounds?
Oh god.
Yep.
Page boy with a fan.
Well, that was great.
Do we ever find the
fantastic.
child's mother, or
No, you never do. And about halfway through the night, this page boy disappears.
okay?
Probably off to go cause ruckus and be princesses elsewhere. Though Pangoliath, at some point, there's like a series of chairs at the other end behind this long table. At some point, you see her little horns like pop up behind the table in one of the chairs.
Oh my goodness,
Too good.
So cute.
This is my favorite thing that's ever been in a game. This is great.
These children. But yeah, I think that's going to be our game for tonight. So let's, next week we're going to the actual race itself, which is going to be one heck of a time, I think, especially now that you have this very cold diplomat son.
Worth it.
Right.
Absolutely
Right?
worth it.
The most worth it. So let's go around. Let's start with Yutsai. Who are you? Where can we find you?
Hi, I'm Yutsai. I'm usually in my room, but I don't think you'll find that. You can find me on Twitter at Saisu, Tsaisu. And other than this game currently, I'm not actually doing much on the webs as I'm trying to finish up school. But afterwards, who knows? I might actually have some time to dedicate to more of these kind of thing.
Nice. Next up, let's go to Grant.
Hi, everybody. My name is Grant Ellis, and I was cast because I won a theme writing contest, what I would do on the dot lot, and I'm just happy to be here every week. I currently have a Kickstarter that is, it's fully funded so far, but we're closing in on our first stretch goals, so I'll drop that link in chat if you want to check it out. It's all about bringing dark fairy tale aesthetics to 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons, as well as if you like games like Cypher System or Fate or Blades in the Dark or Scum and Villainy, etc., like a lot of the other games you see here. I've written about 5 different rule extensions to bring different story types into 5th edition fantasy, so you can play the type of game that you desire with a rule set that you're familiar with.
That's awesome. We're going to save Dot for last, so let's go to Ash.
Hey everyone, I'm Ash. I'm Phoenix of 89, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, everywhere. This is the only stream I'm doing right now. Otherwise, I'm making some tables, building some chairs, living the dream.
The table chair dream life. The woodworker who plays the woodworker. And I'm Marcy. You can find me here every other Sunday. Next week is racing. Otherwise, throughout the week, you can find me on Goldheart Gaming on Saturdays. Or alternating Saturdays, I play Zirin Quinn for Waterdeep Dragon Heist. Let me tell you, I just had my first date with Manchun. Went much better than my last date with Renair Neverember. So that's great. I'm doomed. I'm sorry. And then actually the game right before this one is the other game I'm in. It is also D&D. It's Legacy of Eldrin, in which I play a character lovingly entitled the Wind Daddy. I'm playing a paladin.
I love that name.
Right, Wind Daddy. I named him a Vinder. But apparently he's Wind Daddy now. It's Colin's fault. And not mine for saying it ever.
Colin's fault, right?
It always is. And then I'm also playing, speaking of Colin, with Colin, he runs Symbarum, and I play a person named Darling, because I can't play dark fairy tales without giving people cute names.
And you're my granddaughter.
And you're in that game too. You're also Darling. We're two darlings.
We're two darlings. Two darlings in the Symbarum.
And Jess is Cutie Pie. Anyway, let's give it to you then.
Awesome. Yeah.
All yours.
Thank you all so much. I'm Dot. I appreciate all of you showing up today to just kind of share in our little Sunday fun, a little Sunday party for us and you. I'm excited to announce a couple things. I do shows all over. You can check my schedule. It's over on Twitter, but we're in the middle of a giveaway. So if you want your hands on some magical goodies, you can go check that tweet out right there. Follow, retweet, like, all of the above will get you entered. And it's just a whole collection of goodies made by the cast of the Witch Girl Adventures. We're giving away a hard copy book, some dice. Arisafon's making a tray. Tiffany's making a dice bag. We've got custom minis being printed. It's just like a slew of goodies. And we'll be giving that away on the final episode in 2 weeks. So I wanted to announce that. And I am getting a chance this time next year to join something called D3 at Sea. I'll be taking a cruise from Vancouver down to LA, and you can take that cruise and come play D&D with me and a bunch of other amazing people. So go check it out, D3 at Sea. People always ask what the 3 Ds are. I believe it's Dungeons, Dragons, and Dice. Was what I was told. So go check it out. I'll have more information coming soon once the website's up as to where you can actually purchase tickets. Those are going on sale here before I believe the new year's out. So just another cool opportunity. So thank you all so much for tuning in, and we will see you in 2 weeks' time for the great race. I'm very excited about this race because it's going to end in shenanigans. Until next time, everybody, we will see you. Have a good one. Bye.